Still checking if the place still cold. Moving in the way, no place, no snow. Straight chilling with my niggas and shiver. Thinking about South Lake.
Hey, what's up guys, it's your boy Phobia here, and today I'm bringing you guys a brand new tutorial. I finally ended up buying a Vita, so I've got a Vita now to make tons of tutorials on for you guys, and I figured I'd start out with the one that I needed to do first, which is making sure I can capture my Vita on my PC. This is going to be a very quick and easy tutorial. It's not very hard to do at all, so let's get right into it. The first things that you're going to need for this to work is your Vita needs to be jailbroken, first and foremost. Doesn't matter what version you're on. You can do this on 3.60, 3.73, which is the latest, or whatever. It doesn't really matter as long as you're jailbroken. So I won't be doing that in this video, but I may make a tutorial on that in the future if people have issues with it or want me to make one. So once you're jailbroken, the only things that you're going to need are this file right here, this skprx, which is basically an SPRX from PlayStation, if you know what those are. This is what's going to allow you to actually record. So I'll leave a link to this down in the description. All the links for everything that I'm going to show you guys will be down in the description. Also, any info that you might need. So once you've got that, you're going to need a FTP utility. So this could be FileZilla, which I will link down in the description. It's my preferred one of choice. You can also use WinSCP, or if you're on Mac, you can use something like CyberDuck. It really doesn't matter, just as long as you can connect with FTP. And what you're also going to need on the Vita to start is Vita Shell, or you can also use, if you're on 3.60 with Molecular Shell, you can use Molecular as well. So first and foremost, on your Vita, to start the tutorial, all you need to do is load up Vita Shell, which I will do now. Once you've got Vita Shell opened up, you're going to want to press Start, which will bring up the settings for Vita Shell or Molecular Shell. It's the same thing. And you should see an option that says Select Button. If it says USB, you want to press X on that and change it to FTP. Once it's changed to FTP, you can back out of that settings menu and you can go ahead and hit Select on your Vita. What that should do is pop up a window that says FTP server is now running at, and then FTP:/, and your IP followed by a colon and then followed by the port. That's going to be the important part. So once you're on that screen, you can leave your Vita alone for now and go back to your PC. On your PC, you're going to open up FileZilla or your Mac or any FTP application. You could probably even do this from an Android phone with an FTP client. So once you've got that loaded up, you're just going to want to go to this host box, or however you connect on your application, put your IP in here. So that's going to be everything after the 2 / and before the colon. So mine would be something like 168.39. So that's how mine would look. That's the IP. And then you're not going to put the port here. You're going to go over to the port and make sure you put in those numbers after the colon. By default, it is 1337. Once you have that done, go ahead and click Quick Connect or Connect, however you do it in your application. I'm just going to abort and reconnect since I was already connected. And you should be brought to the root of your Vita like so. So the main ones that you're looking for here is going to be UR0 and UX0. These are going to be your main memory locations. Yours might be different if you're using SD to Vita. I have not set that up yet. That should be one of the next tutorials. So if you guys use that, you should know where your files are and just go there. For me, since I'm using a normal PlayStation memory card, I'm going to go into UR0 first. You should see a list of directories like this, like app, cache, or I guess cache isn't in here, but you should see basically this. In here, what you're going to want to do is go into the TIE folder. You should have this if you're jailbroken. This is just your hen config. This is how you load plugins and everything like that. So you're going to go into the TIE folder, and I already have this in here, so I'll delete it. But what you're going to want to do is just copy over this skprx file. You can do this by dragging and dropping in most applications, or you can browse on your local site and upload it that way. Either way, just get that uploaded to the TIE folder in UR0. And that should be it for copying files. Now what you're going to want to do next is edit our config, but not this config here in UR0. We're going to go back, scroll up, go back one more time, and then now we're going to want to go into UX0. This is where the actual INI file loads from, or the text file, I guess, in this case. but you're gonna have that same TI or TAI folder or TI, and make sure you go in there on UX0 and you should see config.txt. This is what we're looking to edit. So depending on your application, you may need to download it, copy it to your desktop, whatever, but if you're using FileZilla, you can just right click view/edit, and it should open it up like this. I've already had this open a couple times, so it says config 3, just disregard that. So now what you're going to want to do is, after all of this default information, you're going to want to press enter twice just to make a space so you know what's what, and you're going to want to paste this. I'll have this in the description for you guys down below to copy in here, but basically this is just telling it where to load that skprx from. And this kernel part is important, so make sure that you copy that part as well. So make sure that your config file looks like mine, then go ahead and save it and re-upload it to your file transfer program. So for FileZilla, it'll come up to say file is changed, and then you just click yes to upload, and now it should be uploaded. So now you should be done. All you have to do from this point is restart your Vita. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And next thing you're going to want to do is download OBS or any sort of USB camera viewer, so like anything that records any sort of USB video for like webcams or anything, but I recommend OBS just because it's the easiest. So open up OBS, get your Vita rebooted. Mine's rebooting right now. I'll just remove these just so it should look something like this when you first get in OBS. It should not have any sources. So what you're going to do is, once your Vita is booted, click plus, and also once your Vita boots, it should show up down here in the bottom right and say PS Vita setting up device. If you've done that, you know that you've done the installation instructions correctly and the plugin is loaded. Now, if you don't get that, or your Vita doesn't boot after completing the steps previously in this video, all you're going to have to do is, when you're booting your Vita, make sure you hold L. So that's going to be the left bumper, and when you hold that while it's booting, it'll bypass the plugins and let you get back in, so you can either modify this config or fix whatever broke. But if you followed this tutorial, it should work. So once you've got all that done and you're in OBS, you're just going to come down here, press plus, click video capture device, and I'm just going to name this Vita. You can name it whatever you want though. And I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And now under device, you're going to click that and you should see PS Vita. If you don't see PS Vita, you probably completed some step of this tutorial wrong, and you're going to want to retry until you get PS Vita under sources. But as you can see, that pulled up, once we clicked Vita, it pulled up the Vita. And now all we should have to do, oh, my bad. All you should have to do is click OK. And now you can resize this window just so it becomes full screen. Or if you're moving this over to your TV, like if you want to use this as an HDMI pass-through for your TV or play on your PC, if you full screen OBS, it's going to look like this. You really don't want this. Then a lot of dead space down here that you can't use. So the way that you would get around that is right-click the preview, and you're going to do full screen projector source, and you're going to choose whatever monitor you're on. So since I want it on my main, I'll click that, and as you can see, the Vita's now full screen. So if I turn on my Vita, I can unlock it, I can do anything. So at this point, you're basically done with this part of the tutorial. But one side note to make sure that you're aware of is that this does not actually transfer audio over USB. It's just not possible on the Vita. But the way that you can get around that is if you get a long enough 3.5mm or headphone cable, you can plug the headphone cable into the bottom of the Vita and then plug it into your PC or your laptop or whatever, the mic input, and whenever you, or the external input, if you have a PC that has one of those, you can plug it into there and you can add it as a video or an audio capture device, like so. You would do audio input capture and then leave it like that, and you would just select your, so mine would be a digital audio interface, or yes, so mine would actually be this one here, digital audio interface. So yours is probably going to be a little bit different, but you would just select that, click OK, and then adjust your levels down here. But that's basically it for the tutorial. You should be all set to go. There is essentially no lag, so you can hook up a PS4, PS5 controller, whatever you want to do, to your Vita, and actually keep this sitting by your PC and play it wirelessly. I think that's pretty cool. You can also record your gameplay and things of that nature. So, but if you guys have any sort of questions about this, or you have any issues, let me know in the comment section down below, and I should be able to help you out. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.